Hey warriors, the moment they sense fear, they believe they've already won. The second they notice hesitation in your eyes, they move closer. Their voice becomes louder. Their body language grows bigger. They lean in, hold eye contact longer, step into your space, and try to make your mind collapse before you even speak. Intimidation is rarely about truth. It's about pressure. It's a show, a performance meant to make you react before you think clearly. Imagine this. Someone is pushing hard. Their tone is sharp. Their presence feels heavy and overwhelming. Most people immediately try to defend themselves. They speak too quickly. They explain too much. They try to prove their value in the heat of the moment. And that is exactly where they lose control. Because intimidation feeds on reaction. It lives on emotional movement. The more you flinch, the stronger it becomes. The more you rush, the more power you give away. But what if you stayed still instead? What if, at the exact moment they expect you to shrink, you become steady? No raised voice, no nervous smile, no long defensive speeches, just calm eyes and grounded silence. Suddenly, their script breaks. Their rhythm falls apart. Their pressure has nowhere to land. And without shouting or fighting, the balance of power quietly shifts in your favor. Intimidation is not real strength. True strength doesn't need to invade your space or crush your voice. Intimidation is often a fast strategy used by someone who wants quick control. It's a shortcut, a psychological push meant to rush your thinking and weaken your posture. Most people step into this trap without realizing it. They believe they are protecting themselves, but in reality, they are stepping into the other person's frame. Today, you'll learn how to step completely outside that frame. I'm going to share 7 psychological tactics inspired by Machiavellian thinking that can shift the ground under anyone trying to overpower you. These tactics are not about shouting louder or pretending to be tougher. They are about control, timing, and mental positioning. Quiet dominance, calm pressure, strategic stillness. When you use these the right way, the person trying to intimidate you begins to feel uncertain instead. This is not about becoming cold or cruel. It's about becoming steady, grounded, and unshakable. There is a clear difference. You don't need to attack. You don't need to threaten. You don't need to prove yourself. You simply need to stop playing their game and make them stand in yours. By the end of this, anyone who tries to push you around will feel like they've walked straight into a wall they cannot move. Before we go further, drop this affirmation in the comments: calm beats pressure. Number 1, freeze the stage. Every attempt at intimidation is a performance. There is always a hidden stage, an invisible spotlight, and an expected reaction from you. The aggressor is not just talking to communicate. They are acting to trigger movement. They want to see a change, a defensive reply, a nervous laugh, a quick excuse, a rushed counterattack. That reaction is their reward. It tells them their pressure is working. The moment you understand that intimidation is theater, you stop being the audience and become the empty room. When pressure hits you, your first instinct is speed. You speak faster. You think faster. Your emotions move faster. Your body wants to close the tension quickly. That instinct is natural, and it is exactly what gives the other person power. Freezing the stage means you break that rhythm on purpose. You do not rush to respond. You do not hurry to defend yourself. You let the silence sit in the air longer than feels comfortable. Silence becomes your first move, not your last. Keep your posture steady, shoulders level. Slow your breathing instead of letting it speed up. Keep your eyes focused, but calm. You are not challenging them. You are simply unmoved. This stillness sends a stronger message than any smart sentence. It says, "Your pressure did not affect me." Most people are trained for arguments, not for calm resistance. When their emotional push hits a motionless wall, their confidence starts to shake. A powerful psychological shift happens here. When someone tries to dominate and gets no quick reaction, their awareness turns inward. They start questioning themselves. Am I going too far? Do I look foolish? Why aren't they reacting? Now their energy, which was aimed at you, turns back toward them. Their momentum weakens. Your facial expression matters more than your words. Avoid dramatic reactions. No smirking, no eye rolling, no fake seriousness. Neutral is stronger than forced confidence. Think of a judge in a courtroom, attentive, unreadable, steady. Let them speak into that calm space. The longer they talk without emotional reward, the more exposed they feel. Performers without applause become uncomfortable very quickly. Control small movements too. Do not fidget with your hands. Do not adjust your clothes again and again. Do not shift your feet nervously. Small restless movements show inner tension. Stillness shows inner authority. Even if you feel pressure inside, reduce movement outside. People judge power by what they see, not by what you feel. Many people fear that pausing will make them look weak or unprepared. The opposite is true. Leaders pause. Skilled negotiators pause. High-status communicators pause. Fast replies are common. Measured responses are rare, and rarity creates respect. When you finally speak after a calm pause, your words carry more weight because the silence before them built pressure. Remember this line and make it automatic in your mind. If you don't react, their performance dies. You are not ignoring reality. You are removing their spotlight. Without reaction, intimidation has nothing to feed on. The situation shifts from emotional battle to psychological imbalance in your favor. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Stillness is power. Number 2, make them reveal. Pressure works best when it stays vague, loud, and one-sided. The intimidator throws statements like punches, sharp, direct, and forceful, hoping you stay busy defending instead of questioning. Your response is not louder resistance. Your response is precise questions. You turn the spotlight back on them and make them explain their own words. When someone is forced to clarify, justify, and give details, their emotional advantage starts to fade. Most dominance attempts depend on broad claims and heavy phrases. You always mess this up. Everyone knows you can't handle this. This is a terrible decision. These lines feel powerful because they sound final, but many of them are empty when examined closely. The moment you calmly ask for specifics, the weight drops. Ask in a steady, even voice, "What exactly do you mean?" "Which part specifically?" "Based on what evidence?" "Can you walk me through your reasoning?" Each question turns on a light in a dark room. Shadows stop looking scary when fully exposed. The key is your tone. Your voice must stay calm, balanced, almost curious. Not sarcastic, not aggressive, not emotional, just steady and clear. Clean curiosity disarms people faster than confrontation ever can. When your question sounds truly curious instead of defensive, the other person cannot easily label you as combative. You are not fighting them. You are examining the situation. That small shift pushes them out of attack mode and into explanation mode. And explaining is slower, mentally heavier, and emotionally weaker than accusing. There is a psychological rule working here. The person who has to explain is spending status energy. When they must keep giving reasons, details, and logic, they are doing more work than you. Their mental load increases. They may stumble over words. Their emotional drive begins to fade. Meanwhile, you stay calm, asking short, precise questions. You are guiding the direction without forcing it. Use narrowing questions, not random open ones. Start a little broad, then slowly tighten the focus. What exactly is the problem you see? Which outcome worries you most? Where did that information come from? What would you prefer instead? Each layer removes exaggeration and exposes hidden assumptions. Many intimidation tactics depend on emotional overstatement. Specific details dissolve exaggeration. Another advantage appears over time. Contradictions start to show. When someone speaks aggressively, they rarely stay fully consistent. As they continue explaining, small gaps form between what they first claimed and what they later justify. Do not attack those gaps immediately. Let them keep talking. Silence after their answer is powerful. People feel uncomfortable with quiet and often rush. When one person is loud and rushing and the other is steady and unhurried, people watching, and even the aggressor's subconscious, naturally see the slower person as more stable. And stability feels like strength. Fast energy often looks like pressure. Slow control looks like power. But be careful not to become too slow or lazy in your delivery. The goal is controlled tempo, not sluggish behavior. Your words should stay clear. Your pronunciation should stay sharp. Slow does not mean boring, it means intentional. Each sentence should feel placed carefully, not spilled out carelessly. If you notice your speaking speed increasing, shorten your sentences on purpose. Shorter sentences are easier to control. They help you keep your rhythm steady. There is also an internal benefit. When you control your pace, you also control your emotions. Body speed and emotional intensity are connected. When you slow your outer movements, you send a signal to your nervous system that the situation is manageable. That signal helps you think clearly and protect your judgment. Use this simple mental reminder. Pressure speeds up. Authority slows down. Let that guide your timing. You are not trying to match their storm. You are changing the atmosphere around it. When your tempo stays grounded, their attempt to rush you starts losing power. Now drop this affirmation in the comments. My pace wins. Number 4. Control the space. Communication is never only about words. Distance, territory, and positioning send constant signals beneath the surface of conversation. Many intimidators try to win physically before they win verbally. They step too close, they lean over you, they angle their body to block your view. They try to make you step back little by little. Those small steps matter. Every tiny backward movement quietly gives away authority. Your goal is not confrontation. Your goal is spatial ownership. Start by noticing your stance. Place your feet about shoulder width apart. Balanced, not stiff. Keep your weight evenly distributed. This simple stance changes how pressure feels in your body. When your base is steady, your voice and eye contact become steadier too. If your feet are too close together, you are more likely to sway or step back without thinking. A grounded stance silently communicates readiness without aggression. If someone moves into your personal space, resist the automatic urge to step back. Most people give up space instantly to avoid discomfort. That automatic retreat is exactly what a dominance move tries to create. Instead, hold your position for a moment. Let them feel that they crossed into your zone. Many times, they will adjust themselves when they see you are not shrinking. Your torso position matters too. Keep your chest open and facing them, not turned away. Turning your body away signals withdrawal. Facing them calmly signals presence. This does not mean staring them down like a challenger. It simply means staying fully present instead of half exiting with your body. Use small adjustments instead of stepping back. A very slight forward lean from your hips, just a few centimeters, can balance their forward pressure without looking aggressive. It shows engagement, not fear. Engagement feels confident. Withdrawal feels vulnerable. Even objects around you can help. A table edge, a chair back, these can create natural boundaries. Standing or sitting with a subtle barrier between you and the other person can prevent crowding while keeping the situation respectful. This is not hiding. It is structuring the interaction in a smart way. Head position is another quiet signal. Keep your chin level. When people feel pressure, they often tuck their chin down or lift it too high in defense. Both show tension. A level head shows calm control. Pair this with relaxed shoulders, not raised, not slumped, and you project grounded authority without acting dramatic. Your eye contact should be steady, but not aggressive. Think of it as an anchor, not a laser beam. You are present and attentive, not hunting or challenging. Short, natural breaks in eye contact are normal, but avoid quick, darting glances. Fast eye movement suggests you are looking for escape. Smooth, controlled eye movement suggests inner confidence. There is a psychological boundary effect happening here. When you hold your physical ground, the other person subconsciously understands that pushing further will require more effort. And when effort increases, impulsive dominance behavior usually decreases. You are raising the cost of intimidation without speaking a single word. The person who holds their ground controls the frame. Space is not only physical distance, it is psychological territory shown through posture and positioning. When you calmly keep your place, tension starts organizing around you instead of pressing down on you. Number 5. Strategic indifference. Many pressure tactics depend on emotional hooks. The intimidator throws comments meant to trigger pride, anger, embarrassment, or your need to prove yourself. They are fishing for a reaction that gives them control. Strategic indifference cuts that fishing line. You do not react, not because you feel nothing, but because you choose carefully what deserves your emotional energy. This is not passive behavior, it is controlled non-investment. You fully understand what is being said, but you refuse to give it emotional importance. Many people think strength means obvious pushback. Real psychological strength is often quiet detachment. When a provoking comment lands and finds no emotional grip, it simply falls. The first step is internal labeling. Instead of taking the remark personally, name it in your mind. That's a pressure move. That's bait. That's posturing. Labeling creates space between what happened and how you feel. That space gives you choice, and choice gives you control. Without that pause, emotion takes over automatically. Your facial expression should stay lightly neutral, not stiff, not dramatic. Keep your mouth relaxed, your gaze steady, your forehead calm. Act natural, not robotic. Avoid forced smiles or exaggerated seriousness. Trying too hard to look calm looks fake. Aim for natural steadiness, not staged composure. If you need to respond verbally, keep it short and low in emotional temperature. Simple acknowledgements work well. I hear you. Noted. That's your perspective. These phrases do not argue. They do not agree. They simply absorb the comment without adding fuel. The goal is to stop emotional heat from building. Heat is what intimidation feeds on. A powerful part of this tactic is breaking expectations. The aggressor expects one of three things: resistance, apology, or visible discomfort. When none of those appear, their mental prediction fails. People depend on expected reactions during dominance attempts. When their prediction is wrong, their confidence weakens. They may try to push a little harder at first, but without emotional reward, escalation becomes exhausting. Pay attention to your micro signals: quick nervous laughter, a sarcastic edge in your voice, a sharp sigh. These small leaks show emotional involvement even if your words sound neutral. Smooth delivery is essential. Think of your voice like calm water, steady and level, not like waves crashing in response to every comment. Even something small like your blinking rate can show tension. Fast blinking often signals stress. Slower, natural blinking usually reads as calm presence. Strategic indifference also protects the quality of your decisions. Emotional hooks narrow your thinking. Detachment keeps your mental field wide. Instead of being pulled into the emotion of the moment, you can step back and evaluate the situation clearly. From that wider view, you can choose smarter next moves, whether that means setting a boundary, redirecting the conversation, or calmly exiting. There is an important line to understand. Indifference to provocation does not mean accepting abuse. You are stepping away from emotional manipulation, not allowing mistreatment. If someone clearly crosses a line, you can state your boundary in a simple and direct way, without emotional heat. Calm boundary statements are much stronger than angry reactions. Think of attention as currency. Every visible emotional reaction is a payment. Spend it only where the return is worth it. When you stop paying, manipulators lose the funding for their tactics. Their pressure runs out of fuel. What you refuse to emotionally sponsor cannot control you psychologically. Detachment, when chosen consciously, is not weakness. It is leverage. Number 6. Agree without losing. Most intimidation situations are built on a false choice: fight back or give in, argue or submit, push or be pushed. That black and white frame is a trap. There is a third option: calibrated agreement. You acknowledge a small part of what was said without giving up your position, your boundary, or your authority. This reduces friction while keeping your footing strong. When someone expects resistance, even a small nod of acknowledgement can interrupt their attack pattern. Their emotional energy is prepared for collision. If there is no collision, their momentum breaks. But your agreement must be precise. You are not accepting their full conclusion. You are recognizing a piece of their perspective, a data point, or a feeling. Accuracy matters. Use partial validity language, such as, "That's one way to see it." "I can understand why you'd think that." "There's a point there." "That sounds important to you." These phrases validate that their viewpoint exists. They do not validate that it controls you. That difference protects your independence. Again, delivery is critical. Your tone should stay even, grounded, and calm. Not defensive, not overly soft. Think steady acknowledgement. Combine the phrase with balanced posture and steady eye contact. The silent message becomes, "I am not threatened by your claim, so I can afford to recognize it." This works because it removes the emotional reward of forcing you into opposition. Many dominance attempts feed on the excitement of overcoming resistance. When you refuse to provide that resistance, the drama fades, and without drama, their pressure loses power. When there is no drama, the aggressor is forced to move from force into discussion, and discussion is a space where intimidation is much weaker. After you acknowledge their point, add a calm anchor statement if needed. A short sentence that brings the focus back to your position without starting a fight. For example, "That's one angle, here's mine. I hear you, my decision stands. I understand, I'm choosing this direction." Notice the pattern: recognition first, position second. This order reduces friction while keeping control in your hands. Do not over-explain after stating your stance. Long explanations turn your position into a defense, and defense drains authority. Keep your anchor short. Short statements signal confidence. Long justifications often signal doubt. Let silence carry some of the weight after you speak. There is also a neurological effect happening here. When people feel heard, even a little, their threat response decreases. When threat drops, aggression usually drops too. You are lowering the emotional temperature without giving up your ground. That is advanced control in conversation. Be careful not to repeat too many validating phrases. Too much agreement sounds like appeasing. One clean acknowledgement is enough. After that, return to neutral posture and steady listening. Let the conversation settle into the calmer space you created. Internally, this tactic requires ego control. The urge to immediately argue against every strong statement is powerful, but automatic contradiction often increases conflict for no reason. Selective agreement shows strength because it proves you are not afraid of someone else's opinion existing near yours. Think of this as verbal aikido. You redirect force instead of colliding with it. The energy moves past you instead of crashing into you. Calm acknowledgement becomes a shield. It looks cooperative, but it functions as control. You can give acknowledgement without giving authority. Those are two different currencies. Spend the first when useful. Always protect the second. Drop this affirmation in the comments: "I yield nothing." Number 7. Leave calmly, win silently. The final move in any high-pressure situation is the exit. Many people focus only on what to say during confrontation and forget that how they leave shapes the lasting impression. The ending becomes the memory anchor. The person who controls the ending often controls how the story is remembered. A calm departure is a quiet power move. It needs no applause and invites no debate. Intimidators often try to stretch the interaction. They want the last word, the last jab, the final emotional spike. They know that the longer the exchange continues, the higher the chance you will slip, react, or over-explain. Your advantage appears when you refuse unnecessary duration. Once your position is clear, your boundary is set, or your acknowledgement is given, you do not stay inside repeated tension. You disengage steadily. The mechanics of a strong exit are subtle. Keep your voice level in your final sentence. Do not speed up. Do not let uncertainty trail off at the end. Use simple closing lines such as, "We're done here, I've made my decision. We can revisit this later." Short, final, neutral. Avoid extra decorative words. Final statements sound strongest when they are simple. Your body movement matters as much as your words. Do not turn away suddenly. That looks like escape. Instead, shift your body smoothly. Gather your things calmly. Straighten your posture before moving. Take your first step at a natural pace, not rushed. Unhurried movement shows inner certainty. Rushing shows relief or fear. Keep your facial expression composed during the exit. Many people stay controlled during the conversation but lose it the moment they turn away, sighing, shaking their head, or muttering. That small emotional leak can undo the strength you built earlier. Stay neutral until you are fully out of the interaction. Another key rule: Do not over-explain why you are leaving. You do not owe a long justification for disengaging. Explaining too much at the door reopens negotiation, and negotiation reopens pressure. Do not send follow-up messages because of. Do not send follow-up messages because of leftover adrenaline. Do not reopen the same argument right away. Time creates distance. Distance protects your authority and stops emotional aftershocks from changing the outcome. Quiet space after you disengage allows your calm ending to define the entire encounter. If other people are watching, they notice how someone leaves. The person who walks away steady and unshaken is usually seen as the one in control, no matter how heated the middle of the conversation was. Social memory gives heavy weight to endings. Use that to your advantage. This step also strengthens you internally. A deliberate exit tells your nervous system that you are not trapped. That reduces stress patterns and builds confidence for the future. Each calm exit becomes training for your brain. Pressure does not own me. Understand this core truth. Dominance is not proven by forcing a conversation to continue. It is proven by choosing when it ends. The person who can disengage without agitation shows freedom of position. And freedom of position is real leverage. A calm departure writes the final judgment. No noise needed, no victory speech required. Quiet control is enough. Intimidation only survives when it gets inside your nervous system, when it speeds up your heartbeat, scrambles your thinking, and pulls you into reaction. But now you understand the mechanics behind it. You see how pressure is staged. You recognize how emotional hooks are thrown. You know that dominance attempts depend on speed, noise, and invading space. And more importantly, you now have a counter-system. Stillness, precise questions, controlled pacing, strong positioning, emotional detachment, calibrated agreement, and clean exits. You do not need a louder voice. You do not need sharper insults. You do not need aggression to earn respect. The most powerful presence in a tense moment is the person who does not get pulled in, the one who listens without shrinking, questions without shaking, moves without rushing. A centered mind becomes a mirror. It reflects the other person's instability back to them. Next time someone tries to overpower you, remember, you are not there to win a shouting contest. You are there to hold your frame. Let them waste energy. Let them perform. Let them search for reactions that never come. The louder they push, the clearer their desperation becomes. Calm flips pressure inside out. Power is not force. Power is emotional self-control under stress. It is the steady gaze that does not flinch, the measured reply that does not beg for approval, the boundary that does not need decoration. When you master that, intimidation has nowhere to land. If this message sharpened your awareness and gave you practical tools for control, take a moment to support the channel. Like the video so more people can learn how to stay steady under pressure. Share it with someone who needs stronger psychological footing. Subscribe for more deep breakdowns on influence, strategy, and mental control. Quiet strength is a skill, and it can be trained. Remember this, you do not defeat intimidation by overpowering it. You defeat it by becoming untouchable.